Guramagat, Ken Corla, and I welcome the opportunity and coming back on more parts of the budget. Obviously, say budgets for infrastructure is welcome. The likes I've touched on it before, that the likes of Irish Water had 350 in workers with subcontractors let go because there was no work going on around the country. And if you're talking about building houses, obviously you've got to make sure that you have the infrastructure in place. Roads, sewer and water and electricity is ferociously important. And the Land Management Agency, the funding for affordable housing is welcome. But we have got to make sure that that's spent wisely, because we can't go down a road of these houses that's costing an arm and a leg. Basically, there's no record kept or no proper, I don't know what's going on, that there isn't any accountability whatsoever in the line of pricing. When you look at only one person was allowed to actually put in a figure for the modular homes, where are you going? Just a few things in agriculture in relation to fishing. The fishing 7 million budget, like, it's incredible that we think that that's all fishing is worth on a day that we had billions to go around the place. And a question for the Minister, I know the dairy beef scheme has got an increase, but is there, for the person that buys the calf, what's for them? There is money. I welcome that if that's going to happen, because a lot of farmers today are on about it, and I would urge you to, if you can, Minister, to try and do that. One part of it that's coming out today, and look, at the devil is always in the detail, and you'll get things that might be said right or wrong, but there's talk today of 9 million for some sort of pooches for putting your phone in schools. And I'd like clarification on that, because it's a while since I was going to school, but we had a bit of a locker, and if you cannot throw the phone into the locker, you don't need these pooches that they're on about costing 9 million. Like, we want to tighten up on stuff like that, because it sort of makes a laugh out of a budget that might do good things for certain people, and then you'll get the few things that'll always sort of trip you up that causes a problem. And I welcome the money that's going into, say, childcare, because it's needed. But there's only one thing, and I'll give you a few, you'll always get the person that'll ring you when you're driving a couple hours home at night after the look at a budget. And a person that owns a nursing home rang me last night, and they have 50 people working for them. And they don't deprive their staff of more money. But this was the facts they gave me. They said, we are facing into a situation that 50 staff and the raise in the minimum wage, which they don't, and I want to be clear on that, didn't that they deprive the staff, will cost them 80,000. The auto enrolment coming in next, now, and granted it's put off for a year, they have put a figure of 25 to 30,000 on that. The carbon tax raise with nursing homes, either use gas, probably around Dublin or some places, or kerosene in a lot of parts of the country, will cost them about, I think, between 2,000 and 2,500. And they have rates gone up. But they tallied it all up for me. And this is a small business, like, this is the parts that I really find difficult to understand. And it'll cost them about 130,000. And that's 2,500 a week. That's not there at the moment. And unless the government then comes the other side in a few months' time, and when you're renegotiating the bed price, and unless they get that, which is all driving, where are we going? Up with everything. And it's sort of, unless they get that side, it won't balance this side. And it's a thing that we want to watch and by all means, and in fairness to them people, I want to be clear, they do not deprive anyone or want anyone, you know, they're not opposed to giving wage increase. But on the other side, you have to get more in. That's it. And the state will be paying more that side, the way that, you know, and that needs to be in the budgets then in health. For that to balance this side, this will have to go up here. So the health budget is basically doing the same thing, only it's costing more. And you need to watch that. The other people that would be on is the small hospitality, and I know that some of the ministers were in favour of it. You know, and I'm not talking about beds, I'm talking about those at foods or the hospitality sector, the VAT rate that would sort of keep them going. And we have seen a lot of businesses closing. And I just cannot see a whole lot in it for business, unfortunately, to keep them going around the country. That's one thing I think the Minister, and we have the Minister here tonight, that I think needs to be looked at to make sure that we keep the small number. If you look at your man's, is it Draghi you call him, that done this report today, or done reports in the last few weeks about competitiveness, and they've talked about multinationals, and we are relying fairly well on them, and we welcome them. But they have said that we need to make sure that we protect small operations as well. And in the line of agriculture, we know that there's a crisis in the suckler. There's no SCEP 2. I know that there's a bit of an increase in the ones that's in it, but like, have a look at the figure of that. It's downwards, it's going, the numbers of farmers in it. It was written very well, I must say. Whoever the scribe was that said you nearly get the impression there was 70 million more in acres, but there isn't. It's the budget to cater for the 55,000 more farmers. But I would like clarification, Minister, if you get chance, and I'm glad that there's one of the Ministers for Agriculture is here, on those people that buy that dairy calf, will they get money as well? Because my understanding at the moment is it's on the person that breeds the calf that's getting it, and you know, the person that rears the calf. If this works, this is like a marriage. It works both ways. You need to make sure that you incentivise them to do it. So thank you, Carla, and thanks to the Minister.